This is episode 98, Morse Code Podcast. It's me. There's no Dan tonight, unfortunately. So if you listen to this show for him, I guess you can tune out right now because you're not going to enjoy the rest of this. But we got a 3-time returning guest, Trill Withers. Very, very honored to have him for a 3rd time. How you doing, boss?
Can't complain, man. Thank you for having me. Good to be back.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was trying to, I got a list, I got some notes of things I wanted to bring up, and it's pretty funny because as I go through it, I'm like, what haven't we talked about with Tyler? And a lot of it is just, none of it's like, I'll put it this way. A lot of it is just people being stupid in the news and me being curious.
Evergreen, yeah.
But no, we're gonna start with some fun stuff. We just mentioned this off the air, but if for some stupid reason you're not familiar with Tyler's work, follow him on Patreon and listen to the Fun Report. I'm a subscriber. I'm a huge fan. I know I speak for Dan too. Tyler's got some new merch coming out. Why don't you tell us about that, bro?
Yeah, just dropped. I'm trying to make sure I got the link. It's on Streamlabs, but it's a link to the store, but it's not like a very convenient. Like I can't just say like streamlabs.com. It's not like that convenient. But yeah, streamlabs.com/Trilly Whiskers /merch. It's up right now. So far, so good. I got a few things I'm very proud of. A few I'm not proud of. But those seem to be selling. So shirts, hoodies. I got a fanny pack with the Ham Champ belt on it. Stickers, mouse pads, mug. I'm having fun. I'm not having fun mug. So you get one of them. Your coworkers know what kind of day you having, whether they should mess with you or not. So yeah, check us out.
Awesome. I was pissed because today. So I placed my order. By the way, how many figures do you think how many commas you can add to the bank account today after this?
Man, with the Streamlabs cut, none yet.
Okay.
None yet, but if I can figure out a way to cut like them being the ones that like supply the merchandise, ship it, handle customer service, print it, all that. If I can cut them out, then we in the money.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll keep ordering until you can add at least one comma in there. But I was pissed because today I got a couple shirts. I got I want to say that I'm not having fun because usually I'm not having fun. I got the sweatshirt, which was a very strong look. And then I forgot to add the championship belt t-shirt, which I didn't realize. I think it was, is that the ham contest belt? The t-shirt. Yeah.
I was trying to find a way, like the way there's a setup. I wanted to have it where the belt looks like it's like thrown over your shoulder. Yeah. Right. Because it wouldn't look right just like up on your chest. So I put it a little bit lower. So when you're wearing it, it looks like it's around your waist. Like the way the Ham Champ me wears it.
Yeah. I was gonna say it screams you for sure, 100%.
That's what I really wanted. When you think Ham Champ, I want you to think Trilly Whisk.
By the way, the beer that I poured, I'm just telling you this because I know how much you love Reese's peanut butter cups. No, it's a sour peanut butter. Yes, it's called Sack Lunch sour peanut butter cup.
That doesn't sound good at all.
It sounds delicious. It tastes even better.
Like even if you like the peanut butter and the sour, those two, I can do sours. I can do peanut butter. I don't want sour peanut butter.
So that's the thing. It's deceiving that they call it a sour. It's part of their sour, I guess, series or whatever, but it's not sour at all. It tastes like you're drinking a dessert, which right up my alley.
Yeah, I don't hate a dessert beer.
Switching from that to food, what are your thoughts lately on the Cinnamon Toast Crunch story? Have you followed that at all?
With the shrimp tails? Man, I saw the Cinnamon Toast Crunch basically called him a liar. It was basically like, no, it's actually just cinnamon. And then I quit following him for a while, and it comes back that a lot of people are just saying that he's not a great guy. That was the last, and after that, I was like, well, I'm out on that. I don't know what came of it after that. Are there new updates?
No, that was pretty much the last update, and that's what happens to like all these fucking stories. I was talking to someone about it last night, and if anyone isn't familiar with the story, we talked about it in the last episode. But someone basically, the thing that also makes me question it is that it was someone of prominence that this happened to. So me and Dan, yeah, it's Topanga's husband. Me and Dan were like, what are the chances that this is a hoax? Like pretty high. Because there's always money to be made on both sides, right? Or benefit.
Well, that was even before I saw like the people saying he's not like a great person to like work with or be around. I heard somebody say, they were like, y'all understand that this is like marketing is what he does, right? Like this is why he's famous. Because I was like, okay. Once I heard that, I was like, huh. And then everything after that, it just went downhill.
It's a Batman thing. You die a villain, or what is it? You die a hero, or you live long enough to become a villain.
Sweet long enough to see yourself become the villain.
It's kind of like actually it's kind of like Sister Jean. Sister Jean and no, just her. I mean, the fact that she's 101 years old, I'm like, you don't have to dig too far, I would assume, before she gets milkshake ducked. Like if anyone's unfamiliar with that, look it up.
Is she really 100 years old? I know she old.
101.
That's why. Like she was like in 50 years ago, she was 50 years old. Like that's old as hell.
Yeah. Dude, she still claps like a 70-year-old. It's crazy.
She doesn't look a day over 98.
No.
She threw a little shade at Kentucky. I didn't appreciate that, but they lost now, so I'm fine with it.
What did she say?
She was talking about like after the bracket came out, she was like, "Oh, I don't see Kentucky here." And what I was gonna say if I was being rude, but I didn't say it because I wasn't being rude. As soon as it got to like April 1st, I was gonna be like, "Oh, I don't see Sister Jean here because she's old." But I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I decided not to say it.
I was gonna say it sounds like she took a page right out of your book.
That's why I didn't say it. I can't hate the player. I gotta hate the game.
You've always been the mature one in these situations.
Correct. High road whiskers is what they call me.
You've been watching the tournament? I'm gonna be honest because I haven't much.
Very little. I've watched less of the tournament this year. Like I haven't watched a full game at all. I'll usually, like if I see one's getting hot on the timeline, if I see a score, it's like 4 or 5 minutes left. The most I've watched is of USC, just because I like the Mobley kid, like the one that's supposed to be top 3 pick. He's looked pretty good, but outside that, I haven't watched a whole lot of it. Feels great.
Yeah, I miss it because I don't know about you, but in years past, obviously, I'm sure you had to watch it in your previous lifetimes, just having to like cover it through social. But me being the layperson, like just like everyone else around the world, I used to take Thursday and Friday off, go to a bar or just watch it from my house and just set up multiple TVs. Like it was dope, but I couldn't do it this year. Number one, why did they move the first day from Thursday to Friday? Do you know why?
I don't know. I think it threw everything off to me because like we've got like it's a game on now about to go to the Final Four. Then we got those games Monday and Tuesday. I feel like we should have had all those like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday again. So I don't know. It definitely feels off.
Very strange. It's like I'm sure there's logical. Well, it's the NCAA, so there probably is not a logical.
I'm sure money is the reason.
But I was gonna say, like, what do you have? How do you gain money from like? Basically, you lose what I think is one of the prime days by taking out Thursday, and then like you get it on the back half by having games on Monday. But it's like, well, once people get to Monday, no one's taking Monday off to watch this shit. But
I think that's one of the reasons it's not as fun. Like the fun part of March Madness, especially the first weekend, is like either watching like sneaking to watch games at work, pulling it up on your computer, like taking a long lunch, taking a day off, whatever. Like that's the fun part. Nobody like you can't really do that now. So I think it's a lot less fun. Like you can't. Everybody's working from home. You can't hit like the boss button. Like you working from home. There's no suspense in there. There's no I don't know, bad boy aspect to it.
Well, yeah, it's hard for you because if you're just always a bad boy, then there's no difference.
Some bad boy whiskers is what they also call me.
Dude, I just remember being in, I want to say high school, where the one TV in the building, one or two, they always kept in the library. So, you know, the fucking TVs on a cart that the substitute teacher would. Yeah. So there was always that. And I want to say that my biology teacher was also the high school basketball coach. He would, this makes sense. He would take days off from teaching biology when he had like a big game day. So, so we'd have like a substitute teacher, and then I'd like ask to go to the bathroom, but then I'd really just walk to the gymnasium and he'd be in there like game planning, which was hilarious. But anyways, I just remember, did you guys do that in school at all? Were you able to sneak off to, were there any just rogue TVs laying around where you could check a score or anything like that?
Yeah, ours was like, it was a mass media class, which everybody like tried to have like at least once. But basically you could go in there, like the point of it was you get a camera, go record stuff, bring it back and edit it. So there was nothing but TVs in there. And there was also a teacher, like, I mean, it was one half he was really close to retirement, but one half he was going through an illness. So he really just, like, if you weren't making a lot of noise or anything, he just kind of let you, like, he would watch the games with us. So it was just like, yeah, can I go to the bathroom? And you end up in the mass media room and I'm watching like the end of the game.
Yeah, it's those are the memories, and I feel like there's I don't know. I still just haven't gotten over the lack of crowds. Like I'm selfishly, that's one of the things that I'm looking forward to once we can safely do it. Maybe it's just me that's noticed this, but from the games that you watched, did it seem like it was really good crowd noise, or maybe just college fans are louder?
I mean, it's one of those. For the most part, like while the game is going on, like the active flow of the game, it just kind of like the background noise, I think they get pretty well. Mm-hmm. But like for a big moment, or when they come back from commercial, or like you hear background noise, but at the free throw line, you can hear like it's loud as hell off the rim because there's no real noise in there. That's when I think it's the worst. But it's hard to also like for an air ball or like a big play or something, it's hard to like, you can't like immediately like where's the air ball or like where's the loud dunk noise. So it's definitely taking a little bit out of it for me, at least for the 4 minutes I've watched.
Same. I'm still having trouble with the NBA, to be honest with you. Like when I see the advertisement banners in the background covering the seats, or when they zoom out, or like you get the free throw line angle, it's just tough. Like in Boston, one of your favorite cities.
Sure.
I think the next Celtics game, and because they share an arena with the Bruins game, yesterday or today was the first day that they were allowed to have fans back in. There's limited capacity is something like 12%, I want to say. So it amounts to about 1,000 people. But yeah, I don't know. See, like, let's say it was a completely safe world right now, but for some reason they had the capacity limit. Would you go to a game like that for the stretch out room ability? Or do you would? Okay.
Oh, for sure. That'd be
heaven on earth.
Best case scenario. Well, I can stretch out and it's like not because of pandemic. It's just because the people aren't here. I got enough room. You don't have to excuse me. Yeah, I would love that actually.
Dude, nothing worse than so the reason I asked that is because like I just love the atmosphere of a full house. Like I love the crowd, like getting behind the team, especially when they get down or something like that. But there's nothing worse. Like I always try to, when I buy tickets to a game, I always try to get the aisle seat if I can figure it out. Because I fucking hate having to get by people to go to the bathroom.
It's the worst, man.
You feel so awkward, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just no easy way to do it, right? Like there's no, like they try to turn their knees to the side. It's like there's like 4 inches of space, dude. Like you're not doing like anything. So I just double up on everything. Like if I go up to use a bathroom, I come back with like 2 beers, right? So I just try to, if I'm going up, it ain't gonna be for one thing. It's like, okay, I got my 2 beers. If somebody else is going up, I'll be like, hey, get me something so we can like, let's make as few trips as possible.
Yeah.
Because it's the worst.
I agree with that, but then it becomes even harder because then when you walk back, I'm like, oh fuck. Like I'm gonna spill some drinks on people.
Yeah.
He's really gonna have to get out of my way this time if he wasn't pissed enough the first time.
The beauty of it is, again, I think it's probably just living in Atlanta. Like a Hawks game, there's usually nobody there. So you can sometimes, you go the row behind it and just step down into the seats. Cause again, there's nobody there. You can finagle a pretty decent way, but packed house, you don't stand a chance.
Yeah, I commend you. It makes me like, as a person with social anxiety, it's the fucking worst. That and like flying on a plane when you're not the aisle seat, I'm like, fuck, like I'm gonna have to wake this dude up. I'm gonna have to like disturb someone.
See, are you an aisle guy? I'm a window guy. I try to get always, but also like I try to plan it where I don't use the bathroom on a plane, so I don't get up. Like I try to plan it where it's literally like the last thing that I do. I try to plan my airport drinking around that. So once I sit down, I don't have to get up for me and I don't have to get up for the people beside me. But I'm considerate. A lot of people aren't.
Yes, considerate Trilly Whiskers is another thing.
Also, what
they called you that in college, though, I think.
I wear a lot of hats, yes.
To answer that question, I've always been an aisle seat guy because I don't like having something on both sides of me. I just can't do it. Although it is like it's a pain in the ass if you fall asleep and people are like bumping into your head.
Yeah, that's my knees get bumped by the cart. Like I got to stick my feet out. Like I'll just tough it out just give me the window seat. I can just prop up against that and get somewhat comfortable. Dude,
I think I no lie the way. So you say that you plan your drinking around the airport and the plane trip. Sure. I plan my eating around it. So I don't eat usually within 18 hours. Like once we hit 18 hours to wheels up, I will not eat. Cause I'm like,
really?
Yeah. Because I'm like, there's no, if I can control it, I'm not going to go to the bathroom, especially not to take a shit.
Yeah, no, I've never taken a shit on a plane. That's a streak I'd like to run my entire life.
Yeah, it's important. But like what's the longest flight you've made? Obviously, I know you had to go back and forth to New York a good amount, but have you ever traveled internationally or anything like that?
I've never the longest one I've had, I think, is Atlanta, or it's got to be Atlanta to San Francisco. I think that was like 4.5, maybe.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, so it's like that's the long. It's not great, but I know there's like a lot longer. So it's one of those like if I plan it right, I can hold my bladder. Like I'm not that old yet. Like I can hold my bladder for 4 hours. That you don't eat it all though. Like you just be on the plane starving.
Starving.
See, I won't eat anything risky. Like if it like red salt, anything that might upset my stomach. Like I'm not trying anything adventurous. I'll eat like just basic stuff for that reason. Like I don't want to, ain't no indigestion when you like 4,000 feet in the air, but
no flaming hot Cheetos for breakfast.
Yeah, I just like some peanuts, like some plain flake cereal, no frost, just like I don't want no frills until I land.
That may be the way to go. We were talking to do you watch Red Zone or do you have Red Zone?
Like NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's regionally or it's at least dependent on your cable provider. There's two versions of it. But like up here in New England, we get the one with Scott Hansen, who's the taller dude. Okay. We had him on once and we were asking him like what do you eat before you go on a Red Zone, knowing that it's fucking 8 straight hours where you can't get up from
commercials, man. They don't do commercials.
No, commercial-free programming. If you haven't heard it here, you'll hear it there. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, I try to keep it simple. But then we expected him to say like, I don't know, fucking slice of bread, glass of water. And he was like, yeah, I just try to have like an omelet with a little bit of sriracha, throw some salt on there, peppers and onions. And I'm like, what? Yeah. Like I wouldn't eat that if I had to get into, I don't know, like a diarrhea contest.
If I had to drive 30 minutes, I don't think I would eat that. So 8 hour, I mean, unless that's what like keeps him going. Like he's just looking at the clock, knowing that the second I get out, I can, you know what I'm saying, just expel this from my body. But nah, I feel like he would like oatmeal, nothing fancy, 1 slice of bacon, 1 egg, orange juice, maybe. But nah, 8 hours just straight, that's chaos.
Glass of vodka. You know.
Yeah. See, that's for right before you get on the plane.
Yeah.
Or right before you start your shift if you Scott Hansen.
the other underrated part of this is, and my guess is I could be wrong, but there's probably more people that look like you in Atlanta than there are people that look like me at a Celtics game. So with like going back to like getting up and disturbing people, I'm like, dude, I'm trying to fucking blend in as much as I can. I don't want to be disturbing people and clearly like stick out like a sore thumb.
That's fair. But look, we've already established you got boundary issues, man. And just know that, look, it don't matter where you at. I mean, even if I'm here at places, other game, they notice you. You've already stuck out like a sore thumb. I do too. Like that's just the game.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunate, but true. Which brings me to something I was going to ask you about. Do you have any follow-up questions about our visits to the fun report and my vacuum / barber?
I mean, do you still have a vacuum? Did you ever get it?
No, and the Discord community is convinced that I got one. I did not get one. I think
I'm with them.
You don't believe me?
Respectfully, I think I'm with them.
Dude, I took a picture the other night with my Hoover, and I captioned it the most loyal you-know-what that I've ever met. And by you-know-what, I mean the B word. Mm-hmm. And people still didn't believe me. But
I mean, people get really good with Photoshop these days, so.
And you think I'm one of them?
No, but I think you might know, like, it might be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't got to be you. It might be somebody close to you, though.
Nah. And surprisingly, I guess I don't know how often a Kirby vacuum hits up the same spots to like, it's like I don't know if you've ever worked in sales, but there's like at my company right now, there'd be like, these are the opportunities that you lost in the past. Do you want to try them again? Like, I wonder if there's anything like that in the Kirby vacuum sales community.
Right. I feel like it's got to be. Like at a certain point, it's just like, okay. I feel like they got like yes, no, maybe. Your house was definitely like a maybe, right? Like if you say you didn't buy one, but they got to think like if I go in his house, he's gonna let me in. If he lets me in, it's like you ever read the book? If you give a mouse a cookie.
I have not.
It's like a children's book. It's like if you give a mouse a cookie, he's gonna ask for a glass of milk. And if he asks for a glass of milk, he's gonna ask for a seat. If he asks for a seat, you need to pull up to a table. It's like one A leads to B leads to Z. That's you in vacuum sales. I say all that to say that's you in vacuum. It's like if I can get him to open the door, I can sell him the pitch. If I can sell him the pitch, I can get him to let me in. If I can get him to let me in, I can get him to let me vacuum his floor for 4 to 6 hours. If I can, and so on and so forth.
Dude, the most and the worst the most egregious part was the dude came in and immediately removed anything covering his face.
Yeah, that's you should, again, that's your space, man. You gotta be like, no, that stays on. I don't know you. That stays on. I don't know whose house you've been in. They might be like, listen, I trust you, but you've been in every house on this block, right? You're working. I get it, but nah, that's got to stay on.
It was like, I swear in his handbook, step 1, remove mask. Step 2, racially inspired humor, build rapport.
Step 3, question mark. Step 4, close the deal.
It was a hell of a strategy. And I know he thought that he had me. And I feel like I got to be the closest thing that he had to a sale that didn't turn out to be one. So I feel like I won. I won that transaction.
But he got like 6 hours straight, like of not going door to door, man. I feel like y'all both feel like y'all won.
I mean, he said he loves his job, so I think I prevented him from loving his job even more. But
this is the part he loved, going into people's house unmasked. This is the exact part he loved.
Yeah, if he ever comes my way again, it's going to be trouble. And by trouble, I mean I'm going to let him in again, probably.
Of course you will, yeah.
By the way, my mom listens to this show, so I am just joking about that part. I will never be letting him in again.
There you
so
go.
Don't worry. What else did we have? Oh, NFT, which this is where I start to feel like it's time for me to retire, and I'm old. I think you and I are close to the same age. What year did you graduate in college?
I graduated college in 2010.
Okay, so we're a year apart. I don't fully understand how NFT works. Having said that, what tweets do you think you're going to get the most money for?
Well, I'll say this. I don't understand any of how NFT works, for one. And I don't know. I think I played my hand wrong. I led with the she's just having sex tweet. And the reason that's one of the bigger ones. Whatever that one sells for is going to dictate the market for everything else. So I should have built up to that one, right? Like whatever I sell that for, people are going to be like, well, hey, well, that tweet wasn't as big as this. So that's where I messed up. But again, that's me not knowing anything about how NFT works. But listen, if you listening now and want to buy some of this, they can all go. Just let me understand NFT first. Make your bid now. And then when I understand things in 8 to 15 months, I'll be ready to sell.
Are you, I think I can never tell with your tone and sarcasm, you really are going to sell some, right?
Absolutely.
So what does that mean for the rest of us? Like, where can I still see that tweet?
As far as from what the part I do understand, because I talked to somebody who understands it more, I was like, basically, like if I sell this tweet, but if I wanted to put it on a sweatshirt or something, who would have the rights to it? Would I have the rights to it or with the owner? And they were like, basically, it's like you would still have the rights to it. You're the creator. But it's like, I guess like the digital, like the highlights, whatever, like you can go on YouTube and look up Steph Curry hitting a three, or you can buy the Top Shot. You can go look up a picture of the Mona Lisa, but there's one Mona Lisa. So it's like, that's the way it was explained to me. So I get the creator would always hold some type of agency over it, but that still seemed kind of murky to me. I don't
get it. But someone did compare it to me to, it's virtual, but think of a physical basketball card. Like, yeah, there's plenty of pictures of that same thing that anyone can look at. A lot of
pictures of Michael Jordan or whatever. So I kind of got it when they said that part, but I don't know. But my thing is, I've never also understood like trading cards. Like I get it. It's like, okay, you want a rookie Michael Jordan card, but it's like, it's only valuable if somebody's going to buy it. Like that's always subjective. That was always my thing. Like it might be like somebody had a rookie OJ Simpson card one time and was like, I'm going to sit on this forever. This is going to make me $1 million. And they just turned on the news in 1995 one day and were like, oh no. So is that how NFT work? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Is it that volatile? Dan and I have actually gotten back into trading cards a little bit. Like I was always into basketball as a little kid, and we're friends with someone who's kind of like a broker. So it's kind of dope. The way that it works is let's say he orders a bunch of cards in bulk. Am I mansplaining this to you, or do you understand?
No, you already know how this works. I'll let you know when you wait. So are these physical cards, or are these like the digital?
Physical.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Again, I'm too old for that NFT stuff. He'll buy like a bunch of cards in bulk, and then he'll reach out through his Instagram page and say, hey, I want to bust these cards open later tonight. There's let's say it's a basketball set. He'll say these are the 30 teams, and here's how much each team would cost for you to get in. So then you choose whichever team, and it's based off of like when he did a football break a few weeks ago, the Chargers were the most expensive, not because they had more cards in there, but because everyone wanted a Justin Herbert rookie card is I guess the highest like sought after one. So it's cool. It's fun. You kick in however much depending on the team that you choose, and then you just watch them, open them live, and it's all for me. It's how I get my fix, because I'm like, all right, I don't know what I could get here. It's kind of like a scratch ticket. So like I don't want to get in your pocket, but like how much does this stuff run? Because I've seen like the Top Shot. I know the digital ones are going for like thousands. How much are like the physical? Oh no,
for these days,
nothing like that. So like he did a recent one where the cheapest team was like $30, but then the most expensive team was something like $850. I think that was the Chargers was $850.
It's a little pricey. Yeah.
But I think I took the Chiefs and the Ravens, and I came out with some good stuff. So it's fun. Like, it only lasts about 20 or 30 minutes, but you're kind of on the edge of your seat, and you're like, damn, what could I get?
I gotta say, trading cards are not something I ever saw coming back. Like,
Same.
everything cycles, like all the movies, TV show, clothes, all that cycles. So none of that surprises me. Trading cards, I didn't see that one coming. I'm fine with it, but I caught me off guard.
Yeah. I feel like this is the one thing that we have over. Is it Gen Z? Is the young one that's trying to like kick us to the curb?
I don't think there's much trying.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ones that have kicked us to the curb.
Correct.
And then stomped our teeth into the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
This might be the one thing that we have over them, because we've already had this phase twice, and they're like, well, we got the digital phase. So what the fuck do I want with these like pieces of cardboard?
Right.
So,
well, I mean, I feel like people say the same. It's like, why would I ever want a record player when I can have it on an MP3? And then record players had a big, like, I would get me a record player. I looked for a while and I just quit. Like, I would get some records. So like everything's like, I don't know if cassette tapes are coming back, but like I've seen NBA players recently walk like CD player Walkmans. So I think
really,
yeah. I don't know if it was Kuzma or somebody like just walk like relatively. It might have been last year, like before the shutdown. And it was like, like, is that about to be a thing again? Interesting. But everything comes back around. So
Kyle Kuzma just playing some Miles Davis before he gets on the plane.
Yeah, a little now that's what I call the hits. 17.
I've seen, I think Complex was the publication that did it, but they have this piece, especially during the pandemic. They'll ask an athlete, what are 5 things that you don't travel without? Jaylen Brown said records and a record player. So I was like, all right, I respect it. I can get behind that.
That's when I was like, I see those. It's like, how would you travel with oh yeah, he doesn't fly the same way I do. Duh.
Not a middle seat guy. Not a window seat guy for sure.
I read a book. Shaq, in his Lakers days, Shaq used to travel with a turntable, like a physical turntable. Like would pull out of a suitcase and like scratch and stuff on the plane for his teammates. And
that's because it could fit in his fucking pocket.
That's fair. And his hand, really. But just the thought that, I mean, this is also like late 90s. Like, the fact that existed then, like, I can imagine what like the record player Jaylen Brown travels with looks like. Like, it's probably the size of a cell phone.
Yeah.
It just unfolds or something.
Damn, dude, that brings back memories of the Sony Discman. No free ads, but man, I remember those were the days. You'd make a CD mix, or I'd have my friends like make me a mix of like the hottest songs that you think right now, and then just play that until that thing starts skipping on you.
Mm-hmm. That's my shit now. I found my old CD case. So every once in a while now, if I'm in the car, I would just reach in and pull out a Tyler's Mix 7 and see what the first, like, it might be Thug Lovin' by Ja Rule and Bobby Brown. You never, it's like a mixed bag. It's like, okay, this is where I was in my life at this point.
It's definitely a great, I don't know if that's called a time capsule or whatever, but it'll tell you like where you were in 1998.
Yeah.
When did you first get a cell phone? Or smartphone, I should say.
The first cell phone I got was, I'm trying to think what grade it was 2001.
Actually, same.
2001, yeah.
Track phone?
It wasn't it was I think it was the old Nokia brick, man. Like the old
Did you have to buy a card to put minutes on it?
I had to have a SIM card. And it was one of those, I remember my dad, I didn't even really slick one. I was like, I've got AOL Instant Messenger. That's how I
know where this is going to lead to. 15 years from now, I'm going to hate the capabilities.
Yeah, it was basically me like refusing like crack in like 1979. Like, I know what this, I don't want to try it, not because I'm afraid I won't like it. It's because I'm afraid I will like it. Don't give me this cell phone, old man. But he gave me the cell. I think I'm almost certain it was the old Nokia brick gray. I had a nice little leather case on it, like I was Gordon Gekko or something. But I think it was the old brick.
You walking in school, making sure that you're like your pants didn't even naturally sag, but you're like, hey, you see this in the back? There's a reason that my pocket is looking a little baggy today.
Tuck your shirt in a little extra on their side so they see the phone on your hip. It's like, no, I'm definitely important. Now people call this thing all the time. It's just silent. I keep it on silent.
Do you have any friends that ever went through the phase of wearing the holster clip once we got smartphones?
Oh yeah. Anybody I knew that had the T-Mobile, like I was never a sidekick guy, but anybody I knew had a sidekick, man, that thing was bigger than a gun on your hip. Like sidekick was enormous. I don't see how people like sat down with a sidekick on their hip.
I wish I had one of those, but I never had 5 friends. So I was like, well, this
I was like, what I need with this?
Yeah.
I mean, I had way more. Like, way more. They called me all the time.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Yeah. I feel like I only knew unless I was friends with construction workers, then those are the only people that I saw with that bulky ass. Like there'd be the super durable ones, the OtterBox. I don't know if you ever used one of those cases, but
I would see those were too, like I've seen them and people are like, hey, if you drop your phone, man, it's not going to do anything. It's like, how about you don't drop your phone? If it didn't weigh 20 pounds, you might not drop it as often. That's just my line of thinking.
I used to work, my first job out of college was a cell phone provider store. And dude, anytime that a, fireman, construction worker, police officer, or I don't know, someone who thought they were important, needed a case, they always went with one of those fucking things.
Heavy duty.
By the way, if you ever want to hate people even more, work in a cell phone store. Keep that in the back of your mind.
Oh, listen, I never worked in one, but even just, was it one of the ones at the mall? Like a kiosk, or it was like a physical store?
It was a physical standalone store, but it's in the biggest
like
city in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Which is very faint praise, but yeah. See,
I just hate, they're like, hey, what service you guys? Like, man, I'm really not interested at all. I understand, like, this is how you eat. I get it. I'm not interested. I can get you a better plan. You don't know what my plan is now. What you mean you can give me a better plan? You don't even know. And sometimes I would just lie, but like, I already got y'all service. Oh, so I can definitely lower it for you. I was like, damn. I didn't think about that.
Oh, so why don't you bring over your mom and your grandparents?
Yeah, get your whole family here. It's like they don't have phones.
You look young. You got any kids?
Like, yeah, I got tons of kids. They don't have phones though, so leave me alone. They never leave you alone though. That was you? You was that guy?
No, because people, since I wasn't in a kiosk, like we never had to approach people that way.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
I mean, dude, it's like any retail job. Have you ever worked a retail job?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Retail is horrible.
Terrible hours. I used to like being able to stay up late, much later than my friends and stuff, but eventually I kind of got over that. But man, like the stuff that you'd hear people thinking that they could get away with just because you're the employee and they're the customer. Evergreen. It works in every space and every possible occupation, but if you couldn't transfer someone's pictures or
right.
one contact person didn't come over, or I don't know. And I'd also see some crazy shit. Like people were very proud about their cell phone backgrounds, which some were. Sometimes it'd be a respectable lady.
Sure.
Sometimes it would be a flag from the South that people wish that they
a heritage flag.
Yeah.
Not a hatred flag. Yeah.
Yeah, heritage. Big time history appreciators. And then sometimes, dude, I remember one where it outright said on one of those flip phones, you could have a banner so that it scrolled across.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave it at this. It was overtly racist. And I was like, okay, man, like I don't get where you're coming from, but did you have to be stupid enough to like hand me this phone? Why didn't you erase this before you got to me? But it's like, well, he didn't want to erase it.
Yeah, no, he wanted you to see it. And that's where like people asked or told me, it's like, listen, I know how much you hate people. If you worked retail, you hate them a lot more. It's like, listen, I started working retail when I was 16. This is why I hate people. You understand? It's like chicken or the egg. It was definitely me hating people was definitely the egg.
Very true. If I ever have any children, I'm going to steer them away from retail if at all possible.
Well, just like I started work when I was 15 and it was either like retail or food. And I just knew, like, me personally, I was like, I can't work with food. I just like, I hate like people come home or get off work smelling like the restaurant. I hate like that. That makes me like physically ill. So I was like, it's going to have to be retail for me. I couldn't do much else. So it's either food or any kind of retail. So I went retail.
But now you come home and you smell like a microphone.
That's what I'm saying. So I've become what I hated. But I didn't know at the time. That's growth. That's what we call growth.
Did you? Okay, yeah. So you never worked in a restaurant. How long did you do 9 to 5 before you? I know you had some other stuff before Barstool, but how long were you in an office for?
I was in office for 5 years.
What without getting too nitty gritty, but what did you study in school? Was it marketing? I can't remember.
Management.
Okay.
Horrible major.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if there's any like college or high school kids listening to this. It's a horrible major. I picked it because it was literally the way for me to get out of school the quickest. But the thing that I learned shortly after graduating, if you get good enough at anything, they'll let you manage. Like, it doesn't matter what. If you got good enough at the phone store, they'll make you a manager. You don't need a degree in that. Same for like, I thought journalism or writing, like if you get good enough at anything, they'll let you write about it. Like, you see who's writing articles now. It's like, hey, I'm a doctor or a lawyer. I'm not a writer, but I'm so good. I know this thing so well. They're going to let me write about it. So would not recommend management.
That is one of the beauties of, it's like one of the positives of living in 2021 is that because of the internet, you know, the exposure to whatever you're good at, you can get that out much faster into a much bigger audience than you could when our fucking parents were growing up. Although sometimes I look back and I'm like, damn, so I'm 32. I just turned 32 a couple months ago. You can say happy birthday if you want.
I'll get you the next one.
Okay, got you.
I'll be early for the next one.
I always think back and I'm like, man, I remember when my parents were 32. They weren't on Twitter.
No.
They weren't posting shit to Instagram. No, and they definitely weren't letting
human beings, man. They definitely wouldn't on Twitter.
It's crazy. I'm like, I love the internet. Sometimes I hate it, but it's turned like almost 40's the new 30, 50's the new 40, stuff like that. I feel like it's let us mature at a much slower rate, which can also explain why people are so dumb. Hand up, including myself.
Well, I feel like it goes both. Like, it's like faster and also slow. Like just like graduating and just being aware of just all the inequalities in the world, like racial wise, gender wise, wage gap, all that stuff was just not something that I was aware of at that age. And I feel like kids now at like 15, like
that is true.
Like the biggest thing was the Marjorie Stoneman, which was one of the schools in Florida, the school shooting. And I just remember all those kids. I was like, these are like kids. They was like 15 and 16, and they're talking like, I was gonna say like politicians, but I don't want to insult them. They were talking like informed individuals. Yeah. And I was like, God forbid something like that happened in my school at like 15 or 16, and we were trying to like drive any kind of change. We just weren't in that mindset. So that's where it's like, I feel like 15 is the new 38 because they know things that we just didn't have access, but 40 is also the new 15 because they're like, it's like, TikTok. Let me get my old ass on TikTok. My old ass is not on TikTok. I'm just making an example.
Same.
But yeah.
I will never.
Yeah, not for me. Not for me.
I'll amend that. I won't ever again because I don't know, dude. TikTok just isn't appealing to me because everything is so overproduced with like the filters that you can throw on, the captions, everything just, I mean, the internet as a whole is probably just one big hoax as it is, but correct. TikTok just makes me wonder or just makes me think that everything on there is definitely fake and scripted. It'll be like, look at my grandma's reaction to seeing me pretend like I broke my finger or something like that. And I'm like, all right, well, you told your grandmother how to act for this video. Right. Just
and if
dumb
you didn't,
shit.
it's like, hey, what's wrong with you, man? Your grandma, she was probably concerned. Why would you do your grandmother like that?
Yeah, if it's real, what are you doing? Like, well, I didn't need to see that.
Well, yeah, I needed some clicks.
Although, do you follow Trey Rags?
No, I'm not familiar.
Okay, I'll DM it to you. He's the one account that I would recommend following, and he is hilarious.
He's a talker.
He is a talker, but his are scripted like skits, and he'll just play different characters within the skit, kind of like fighting with himself and stuff. You'll enjoy it.
It's like my thing. Like I see some good TikToks. I just know that like if it's that good, it'll make its way to Twitter. If it makes its way to Twitter, it'll come across my desk. So it's like I'm not used to sorting through the garbage. I do that on Twitter, so I let somebody else do that on TikTok.
This is a question that I was curious about your perspective. Dan and I had an argument, drums or flats, and I'm not going to tell you which way we went until after. For wings.
What else would that question apply to?
Shoes.
You got me there. Now, I've always been I don't have a preference, man. Like chicken has just done so much for me and my family that I really can't, boneless or traditional, wings or flat. I can't put two bad bitches against each other. I can't do it.
Okay. That's like choosing between Megan and, let's see, who else am I a fan of? Joy, which is going to be in the next segment, and it's the Joy Taylor portion of the program.
Oh, boy.
I'm just kidding. Interesting. Okay, I can respect that answer. Dan was strictly drums. I'm strictly flats. I feel like flats got more sauce and like the meat in a flat is kind of hits different. It's more moist. I feel like the drum is a little either drier or tougher.
I'll say this. I think flats are more consistent, but I do think a good drum is better than a good flat, right? Like if you get a good drum and it's like it's cooked right, you just get like a good bit of meat, and it's not like no gristle or any of the tough stuff. I think that's better than like a good flat, but just on average, if you just pick up a flat, it's gonna be good. It's a flat. Like you know where the good stuff is, right in the middle. So
a flat is like LeBron, 25, 7, and 7 every year.
Yeah, you know what you're getting with the flat. I would say drums, probably Steph Curry, right?
Oh wow!
Like every once in a while, like Steph is he'll have a 3 for 14 night. You've had some bad drums, but when he's hit 11 for 14, there's nothing like it.
Okay,
it's all about preference.
Fair. Didn't enjoy the Steph Curry slander on this program, but it is what it is.
Everything Steph Curry slandered is Steph Curry.
I'm just kidding. I'm not. Do not lump me in with Warriors fans. I am not a huge fan of the LeBron crowd on Twitter, even though I respect LeBron. But whatever. We're not going to go down that road. Always wanted to ask you this. No, this first. What's the first thing you're doing after you get the vaccine and it's safe for everyone? Like, what's the first? I assume. All right. After your first Nickelback concert, what's the second thing that you're doing?
My second Nickelback concert. No. Sopee's mom, close your ears, please. Strip club. Okay. Definitely strip club. Okay, Sopee's mom, you can start listening again.
How far away do you live from downtown Atlanta?
Like 10 minutes, not bad.
Is it all that it's cracked up to be? I've only been to Atlanta once, period, and I haven't been to Mute Your Ears, Mom, any of the strip clubs there.
It's not to brag, but I've been thrown out of strip clubs in many cities. Atlanta's the best. Like I'm clearly biased, but anytime I go in one in like a different city or a different state, I'm like, this just isn't as good as it is at home. Like I don't know if it's you're like born and raised all that in the Northeast, right?
Yeah, New Hampshire, your second favorite state.
Yes. Love NH. It was something on Twitch or something. I don't know. Like it's just a Southern thing. Like when I was working, like my first job out of college was at like a Fortune 300 company, and they like meetings there would just be at strip clubs, like business meetings, because it was like, listen, we're gonna go to a restaurant, right? the restaurant's going to have food and drinks, right? Maybe a TV. Would you prefer to have respectable ladies around or not? Who's going to say it? Like, and so it was just times where like I'd just be
during the day.
Yeah, lunchtime. And again,
Wow.
like I was at a point like I wasn't like making any of these decisions, but I'm just like tagging along, and you're just like there, and it's like, yeah, this is just where like business decisions are made. And it was kind of weird for me finding out. I was like, y'all, everybody don't do this. I was like, is this a Southern thing? Is this a Georgia thing? Is this an Atlanta thing? Is this my company thing? But I think it's just a Southern thing. Like I've talked to other people who are like, they just, for the most part, like business deals, all that are negotiated in a strip club, in a gentleman's club.
Respectfully, I've made a few business decisions in a strip club, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you mean.
However, not those business decisions. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those like when you're in it, like coming up and you think that's the way it is. It wasn't that wild, but now looking back, people are like, no, why were you there? And I was like, they were trying to close an account. Like what am I gonna say? No, I don't. It was the end of
the fiscal January.
Yeah, I didn't have a say anyhow. Like I remember there was a meeting. Like I was in like accounting in a company that was going bankrupt, and I'll never forget. We went down there. We went to their city, to their company. Went to like this seafood place with tremendous seafood. I remember the place. It didn't even have a sign. It was one of those places like if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That's when I was like, oh, they talking some money here. We went there. They had drinks. Went back to the hotel. Had more drinks, and they were like, okay, like come on, we're going back out for more drinks. That was at like the strip club. They were like signing the final paperwork because the company was going bankrupt. So and like the guy was literally like signing bankruptcy papers in the strip club, and I was like, you know what? If I was going bankrupt, I probably want to do it. Like, listen, I've went bankrupt at a strip club. You know what I'm saying? Personally. So I know how that feels. But yeah, it's a wild scene.
Hey guys, this pen is out of ink. Foxy, could you bring me
Peaches,
a ballpoint?
Yeah, that's the game. And it's always a fresh pen.
Interesting. How many people would you say approximately were involved from your company and the other company?
Oh gosh. It was 4 of us that went down there, and 3 or 4 that went to dinner. One person was like, I'll let you guys handle like the strip club business. So it was 7 of us at the strip club. And just one of those, like, again, like you walk in, they know who like they are. Like you get a room or a section or something like that. Like you're not amongst like general population. You get the best talent, the best service. Like you don't have to wait on a drink. And yeah, they're just talking. They were talking like assets, what's going to be liquidated, what's going to be collected on. Yeah, it's worse places to go bankrupt. I know, because I've went bankrupt a lot of places. Bankrupt Trilly is what they used to call me.
Well, that was in elementary school.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Okay, so were there ever... I'm having such a hard time picturing it. If you got pictures, like feel free to send it this way. But were there ever intermissions where it was like, all right, now we've been here for a couple hours. Let's take like a 15-minute break. Go do what you need to do. And then people got to dance or some shit like that. You get the business out of the way. So after that. Interesting.
It was like you come in, you talk, you chill, have a drink, observe. I remember he signed the papers and they were like, okay, now that that's out of the way. Fun was had, but not by me. I'll never have fun.
No,
I will never have fun.
Not you.
No.
Have you been? So I know you're a big solo Miami trip guy, or you used to be. Did you ever go there? Because I've been to those and I was a fan. I've
been 1 or 2. They were fine.
But nothing like Atlanta.
Of Florida, Tampa's got a good strip club scene. I don't know why.
Interesting.
Tampa's got a good strip club scene.
Was that when you went to that Brady's home opener? Because I know you're a huge fan.
Yeah, no. Tom had me and the kids down, so we went to go see our Bucks.
I will tell you this: if you ever make your way to Portland, Oregon, for some strange reason, it's got the highest establishment per capita ratio in the country. And I've been to one there, and I won't name names, but I have some friends who kept us later there than I would have wanted.
Was it Dan? Is it Dan?
It is not Dan. It is not Dan. So Ari, if you're listening, it was not Dan.
It was definitely Dan. Okay, I got you.
And we'll say this. Again, Ari, it was not Dan. My friends not only kept me later, but I think there were some extracurricular activities that you would even consider extracurricular in that setting. We'll leave it at that.
Sound like a good club.
Yeah. Wait, so have you the Lou Williams place? Is that Onyx?
Magic City.
Magic City. Okay. I assume you've been there.
I've never been to Magic City.
Are there really that many in Atlanta?
Oh yeah, the Magic City, Onyx, Follies, Strokers, Kamal. Like it's a lot. I mean,
one of them's called Strokers.
Yeah, there's one called Strokers. Kamal. I remember one time, I'll name drop just because I think it's funny. I went to a place called Kamal's, and I was like, "Ain't nobody in here." They were like all the main dancers just left because they like made their night. I was like, "What you mean they made their night?" And they were like, "Colin Kaepernick was just here, and he basically like threw like enough money to where like a lot of girls were like, we're done for the day."
Yeah,
this was like literally right before like the anthem stuff, and I was like, "Kaepernick, huh? I like that guy. I like the cut. Yeah, I like the cut of his jib." But yeah, some of them have closed down, like I think permanently through the pandemic. So I'm hoping that they make it on the other side to go to, but
couldn't do it through Zoom.
Yeah, it's not the same. So I've heard. But once it is, I'm walking in like the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase.
You ever seen anyone get kicked out?
Absolutely, many times.
It's pretty funny because up here, I don't know about in the South, but up here there's pretty strict laws that a lot of them are, no contact. And this is pre-pandemic, obviously, but yeah, no contact. Don't even try no funny shit. So I've seen plenty of people get kicked out. I do have a funny story where I went to a very...
You got kicked out? What'd you do?
That was 2007. Now in 2008, when they relinquished the restraining order, I saw someone perform, and it was at a very seedy place, basically in the next state over, Vermont, your third favorite state.
Love VT.
Respectfully, a lot of the women were, you could tell they were down on their luck, and some of them were pregnant. Not joking. I'm not saying this to be funny. And I was sitting near like the front of the stage. Girl comes over, does her thing, and she's kind of awkwardly waiting. And I didn't throw any money down. I was like, I didn't ask you to come over here. So I didn't realize at the time, dude, I was not adolescent, but I was a novice establishment frequenter.
They teach you that at the business meetings at the strip club, man. You got to...
Yeah, that you can't sit at the front unless you're throwing some guap down.
They will call. I don't know. Again, I can't speak for other places, but if you're doing that in Atlanta, they will call you out. Hey, black shirt, throw some money or get up. Hey, you, blue shoes. Well, why you cheap? Like they will call you out.
Was not expecting it, and she just kind of stood there awkwardly and was like, "What? You're not having a good time?" I was like, "What makes you think that? I'm having a great time." And she was like, "All right, well, I don't see you throwing any money down." I was like, "All right, well, here's $2 bills. Do with it what you will." And
one for each of you. Yeah.
Yeah. For that reason, I'll never sit at the front of a stage again, except for the one time I did it again in Puerto Rico, where have you ever been to Puerto Rico by chance?
I have not.
Okay. If you ever go there, you have a decent shot of seeing like a pro athlete at a bar or a club.
Okay.
So me and my buddies went down there in 2013 or 14, and we saw Darrell Revis. We saw Harden.
Okay.
James Harden was on the beach with some very respectable women,
sure,
who were wearing bottoms but not tops.
Okay.
And then J.R. Smith, another king. Harden and Smith, we saw them at the club too. They wanted nothing to do with us. I get it. Darrell Revis, I was like, does he have a twin who's just not as cool? Because he was all about talking to us.
Yeah.
So me, 2 or 3 of my friends, it was like 7 or 8 of us total, but 2 or 3 of us went up to him. We were like buying him drinks and like having tequila
Y'all buying
shots.
the millionaire drinks?
Dude, I don't know what got into us. I wanted to talk to him. What was funny was he was the nicest guy, but his posse or whatever, I wasn't a huge fan. But have you ever seen what the hell is the name of that shoe? It's by John Geiger. Does that ring a bell at all?
Geiger? I'm not familiar.
Okay. Anyone listening to this, if you look up John Geiger, he's got a high fashion shoe. Anyways, that dude is apparently Darrell's like best friend, and he wasn't exactly nice, but whatever. So we were just kind of chilling with him for like a half hour, and he was the nicest guy I could have ever imagined.
Really? I mean, it's always nice to hear those stories.
Very, very nice. I was like,
surprisingly nice.
Is this really you? Like, why the fuck do you want to talk to us? Like, how have you not thrown a drink on my face yet? But yeah, he was super cool. But when we were down there, we visited a similar club. And I sat near the stage. I didn't have any change on me. I didn't have any small bills. So I threw up a 20.
Okay.
Which I don't know if that's a lot because it's been a while since I've been to one of these places. The performer came over, asked for my hand, and took it to do things with it. Sure. I know you can use your imagination. I was appalled and flattered.
That's usually how it works.
And also, like, walking to the bathroom, everyone was just grabbing your junk on your way there. Like, oh, nice to meet you, sir. Or like, having fun. So
I am now, yeah.
So if you ever want to make a trip out of the States, that's where I'd recommend.
Say, me and Revis, I'm gonna have to hit up Darrell. I feel like he got some free time these days.
Very, very nice guy. Very nice guy. Last question. I know, I did not keep an eye out on the time, so I apologize.
No, you're good.
There's the last question for me. What's an unknown story about Mickstape? Number 1, and 2. Did you guys ever get in trouble for taking the ad reads much longer than they were intended and throwing in like ridiculous stories?
No, with it actually went the other way. Like, it turned into, there were like memos being sent out like, this is how you should do ad reads.
That's awesome.
Because it was like, I mean, and on like not even just for Barstool, but just like most companies, you hear ad read, it's read. You could tell they're reading something, they're reading it to the letter. It's a 30-second ad, it's supposed to be exactly 30 seconds. And we were taking it, and if it took us 10 minutes to get through because we were having fun with us, it took 10 minutes. And so the companies were like really enjoying it because they were paying for 30 seconds, but they were getting 10 minutes. But we were wrapping like something around it to make those 10 minutes memorable, which is what the companies want. Yeah. But apparently, allegedly, there was a donut company based in the Northeast that rhymes with Monk and Monuts. They came out with like these enormous like red and blue drinks. I don't know if you remember those.
Oh yeah, they're like super sweet. They almost look like slushies, but they're not.
Yeah. They came out with those, and allegedly we compared those to Crips and Bloods, and so they just pulled all advertising from the company. So that wasn't. That was they didn't like that.
Did you guys hear from Dave?
Huh?
Did you guys hear from Dave?
No, it was just kind of I think Erica sent that one out. It was like, hey, let's maybe we don't refer to gangs when we mention the people that are paying our bills. And it was like, noted, hand up. That was on us.
Okay, sure. Republicans and Democrats next time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You gotta.
We get it.
Dodgers, Red Sox. You can say anything, but not Crips and Blood. I think they're a Latin King company. So you live and you learn.
That's why it was Aaron Hernandez's drink of choice.
Yeah, and that's why I can see why they would want to distance themselves from that. Monk and Monuts.
Any Mickstape stories that you can tell the audience that we weren't already aware of behind the scenes?
I feel like anything behind the scenes we turned into on this. Like that was most of the.
That's the mixtape experience.
I know I've told this the time Corey Maggette almost beat Coley up.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we were in LA for the Big 3. And so we were in the gym on USC. It was USC's women's gym, lovely campus. And we were talking to Corey Maggette. I don't know if you remember, Corey Maggette had a nickname, Bad Porn. Did you know they called him Bad Porn?
I didn't know that.
Do you know why they call him Bad Porn?
Bad porn?
Bad, like pornography, bad porn. They call him Bad Porn because they said, like, when you watch this game, it's a lot of penetration and a lot of scoring, but are you really happy with what you're seeing? It was like, yeah. So it was like a knock on him, right? And so we start the interview, and Coley starts it out, and he's like, boom, we got Corey Bad Porn Maggette with us. And Maggette like immediately turns his whole body. He's got the widest shoulders I've ever seen because we're on either side of him, turns his whole body. It was like, now hold on. Now, why would you think it's okay to call me that? And I was like, oh man.
Shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh geez.
And you were like, yeah, Coley, why would you think that?
Yeah, I was like, listen, what? Like if he just started whooping his ass, what I'm gonna do? There's no point in both of us getting our asses whooped.
Yeah.
But to Maggette's credit, he explained, he was like, I've had kids say they heard that nickname, right? Kids that go home and Google that to see why their dad is called that and see the things that come up. He's like, so you can understand why I take offense to that. And he explained that, they talked it out, and he gave us a really good interview after that. But for a very brief second, I was like, Corey Maggette's gonna kill Mick. He's just gonna kill him. And I don't.
You gotta steal his name.
Yeah, just me looking at Devlin like keep it rolling. But if he just starts stomping it, what I'm gonna do? It's Corey Maggette, man.
You gotta steal his name and then no, he's gonna kill him and steal his identity. Coley Maggette.
I was like, I would have had to get in a few licks too, just so he don't think I'm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
on
he
the
can't
opposition.
question you.
It's nothing personal. I kick in your ribs a couple times. You know what I'm saying? We're still good, but I need Corey Maggette not to whoop my ass too.
This obviously wasn't recorded, right? Because I don't remember hearing this.
It was recorded. I don't know if it ever was released, but it was. I was gonna say it's on tape somewhere. At some point, it was on tape somewhere. If it still is, that I don't know.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
So yeah. Shout out to Corey Maggette for not whooping our asses.
Yeah, dude. That's a pretty scary guy. It'd be one thing if you said like an undersized point guard, but Corey Maggette looks like.
If he said that to Speedy Claxton,
yeah,
you know what I mean. But now Maggette's all of, I don't know, 6'5", 6'6", and 240, like just incredibly jacked. So
yeah,
there was not much we could do.
He's a strong looking fella.
Very burly.
All right, my friend. I had a great time. I'm sure you had a terrible time.
No, always good to be here, man.
I appreciate you coming on. Can you please plug yourself one last time before we let you go?
Yeah, you can check the patreon.com/TylerIam. Just drop the merch, streamlabs.com/Trilly Whiskers /merch, or just go to the hub, twitter.com/TylerIam, and all that and thousands of bad tweets will await you.
Please support. This is the one serious thing I'll show. One of the few, I would say, good guys of the internet, and definitely my favorite follow. Yeah, you're not a great guy, actually. Never mind. Especially after the strip club stories.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, one of the guys of the internet. Yeah.
Unsavory, to say the least. But no.
Unbecoming, yeah.
Please follow him. We'll have some links in the show notes. Can I link the Streamlabs store in the show notes? Is there... You said something's funny with the link?
No, it's a physical link. So
okay. We'll throw that in there.